There's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
Hey, this is Sean Whiting, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to welcome Sean Whiting and the Big Badness. They have released their new single entitled Time and Space. Also, check out Sean's other stuff. His other albums, specifically, I should say, Finally the Beginning, High Expectations, and the EP Past and Present. So get out and check that out and support him for sure. Like I said, all of us locals need support from each other and everybody. How excited are you to release this track, Time and Space, man, to finally get it out and just get out to the public that, here you go. There you
go. Man, I'm been pretty excited about it. It's awesome. I mean, I'm proud of it. And I felt good about it. We put a lot of work into it. And yeah, man, I'm just super stoked to finally have it out and people can listen to it.
What got you into playing music, Sean, and who are some of your influences, man?
Man, I've been playing music. I've always loved music, and I started singing when I was a kid, like 4 or 5 years old. And picked up drums when I was about 5. And so I've always loved it and started, just played around the house as a kid. My grandpa was my biggest influence because he was a musician. He played guitar and he was a really good singer. I never did really take it all that seriously, although I loved it, but I didn't really consider myself getting out and playing, and as a teenager, I started playing guitar a little bit in my late teens, and I just kept getting the bug. I had the bug wanting to do it, and I had a buddy that was a musician, and he got me into it. He finally taught me how to get out and singing when I was about 18 or 19, and that was all it took. Once I finally got on stage and got that confidence to get up there and do it, man, I've been doing it ever since, off and on, and like I said, my grandpa was my biggest influence as far as growing up and watching it done, and seeing how it's done and being an entertainer and things. And, man, my influences go all over the place, but it's like all my brothers, when I was a kid, my mom was a huge Allman Brothers fan. And so I heard plenty of that, and Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top and all those greats. And then I just got into everything from metal to country to rap. I listened to everything when I was a teenager. Back then NWA and Eazy-E and Ice-T and all those people were huge back then.
Yeah.
And so I'm listening to that, but I'm also listening, to Pantera and Slayer and stuff like that. But then, I've always kind of, the blues rock thing has always been what I've go to the most. It just speaks to me. I really love blues music, but I love what Led Zeppelin and what ZZ Top and what Robin Trower and Humble Pie and all these people did with it. They took blues to another level, and that's what speaks to me the most. And that's obviously, when you listen to my music, you can hear all those influences.
I got to know though, man, when you first took the stage for the first time, what was your thoughts, and when did you actually settle in and say, yeah, this is it. I don't want to do anything else. I want to pursue this.
Man, I think it was there. Having that, really, I dreamed of it I didn't know how to make it happen, but it was just like, it's always been there. It's like I started thinking back, and it's like it was the first thing, it was my first love was music. And so it's just like, it's always been what I wanted to do. Always. Anytime I was ever doing anything else, music was, I drove a truck for a long time, now 15 or 16 years. And, I didn't want to be doing that. I wanted to be playing music. And, so it was from the beginning, really, as soon as I got on stage, I could do it. And I knew I could do it, but you got to have a little bit of confidence booster. And that's what it took. And then, I just worked on trying to hone my craft and continue to try to get better. And I still do. There's plenty of room to grow. There's always room to grow. That's my main goal, is just trying to stay focused and continue to grow as a musician, as a songwriter, as a singer, as a person, pretty much.
How has the pandemic affected you as far as a local musician, man? How hard did it hit you, or did you actually find shows to still play?
I didn't play for a good while, but honestly, it was kind of, for me, it was a good thing. I feel like the pandemic saved my life. I lost a lot of weight during the pandemic. I decided to get healthy and changed my life around. And so while I was off, I went back to school and got a associate's degree in graphic design and digital photography. Well, visual communications, but that encompassed graphic design and photography and film. And then I was just looking for different artistic outlets, and was looking to be able to be more self-sufficient. Of course, musicians need graphic designers, and you need photography, you need all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I could really, in that way, I could also really make how I want to look. That's exactly how I want to look, by knowing how to do it myself. And so it was just I thought it was a great idea. It was just it fit. So I went and did that, and then I lost a lot of weight and got in the best shape of my life, and was able just to kind of focus on me for a while, man. And when things slowed down, and it kind of was good. It was kind of good to take a break. I was kind of getting burnt out because I'd been going at it real hard for several years, and it was a good break, really. I mean, it sucked, of course, but I made it positive out of it, as positive as I could out of it, So, but after a while, I was ready to go, and I am now. I'm ready to get back at it full, with full head of steam.
It's like I told everybody, and I don't mean this in a bad way, and I've said this many times when I say this. I think that, yeah, it sucks that we had to go through the pandemic, but I feel like it's Mother Nature's way of saying we need to reset. We need to calm the hell down.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I felt. I felt like it was just, everything slowed down, because you kind of feel like you can feel like things are, you're trying to catch up. You're always running behind, mm-hmm. Like everybody feels that way at some point. And that's kind of what I felt like. And when all of a sudden it was like kind of the world just kind of almost stopped, basically. And it was like, all right, now it's time for me to catch back up, mm-hmm. and reset. And that's exactly what I did, man. But I still tried to stay creative. We ended up, that first year I didn't do much. I didn't even play a whole lot really for a while. And then I really started digging into my guitar playing and started studying more and learning more theory and things like that. And then once 2021 rolled around, then we ended up doing a Fat Cave session with my buddy at Fat Cave Studios, and it went real well. And so we decided to release an EP out of that, which was the Past and Present EP. That was done live at Fat Cave Studios, and we did 12 songs that day, and we decided to release 6 of those songs as an EP under my solo project, and then released the other 6 songs as a Fat Cave session.
Mm.
And so that was some content that, but that's the thing. While everybody's not really playing any shows and stuff, you still want to try to stay relevant and still keep your fans interested and things like that. So that was a lot of good content that came out of that. And so and it was really good, and a good friendship and a good partnership came out of that as well with my friends there at Fat Cave Studios. And that's where I ended up doing this new album that I'm putting out. I ended up going into the studio with them. And so we started recording on it last June, I guess it was. And we did all the tracking pretty quick. And when we could, we get everybody together. And then Sam Rogers and I have been doing all the mixing, mastering, and engineering, and I produced it with my buddy Sam, and he's the one that did all the engineering and mixing and mastering there at Fat Cave. And it's been a fun project, man.
Was there a show for you that you kind of had to win over the crowd as an opening act, man? And if so, what was your thoughts on that to actually try to win that crowd over? We're going to get into all the music stuff, but I'm just hitting this stuff right first.
I opened up best opening slot I ever had, and I knew I needed to. I didn't have a lot of trouble, but I knew I needed to make sure I won them over as best I could. Was a few years ago at the Burl. I did a solo set opening up for Tyler Childers, and he had a 3-night run there, sold out shows, and he asked me to come open up for him on one of those nights. And that was incredible to get on that stage, and that crowd is packed. That it's you couldn't get another person in that place. And so it was like, all right, this is awesome. I'm gonna get a whole lot of opportunities like this. So got up there and did the best I could, and it went over well. And that's definitely definitely a time that I'm very thankful for and appreciative of, that things went well. And that was a great night.
I got to know, what made Time and Space the first track released off this upcoming album that you're working on, man? What was it about this track that said this has to be the first one?
I don't know, man. It was just kind of, it's kind of fitting. I don't know right now, where everybody's just kind of, the song, I guess, is really just about basically what it says, taking life day by day. It's kind of over, it was written during COVID times. And so it was just kind of like I've been taking everything in and reflecting and thinking about, life and what's going on. And what we all do is just kind of all you can do is take life day by day and until you figure out a better way. That's basically the chorus is, and that's true for all of us, really. It's all we can do. And I don't know, it just kind of spoke to me. I thought it had a decent, has a pretty good rhythm to it, good beat to it. And I thought people might be able to connect with it. And so we rode with it.
How many songs are written right now for this upcoming album? Is it all completed, or are you just still finally getting into doing some more songs possibly on it?
No, the songs are done. We're still working on it a little bit, tweaking things here and there, but the songs are recorded. I've got 10 songs for this one. And I'm going to release at least 3 singles throughout this year, maybe 4, but at least 3. So I'm looking at, right now I'm very seriously, I haven't set the date exactly, but I'm probably going to release the album probably toward the end of August, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm. Has local shows been easier to play now than, say, like 10, 20 years ago, possibly? Or do you think it's a little bit harder now to get exposed as far as playing local venues and things like that?
It's all really changed, 20 years ago, it seemed like there was a lot of bars.
Sure.
And of course, and this, of course, this people had a lot more live music, I should say, and there were more bars, and there were seemed like there was just more to do, and especially if you were in a cover band.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough playing original music, especially living when I'm based in Eastern Kentucky here in Johnson County, and there's not many venues in this area at all, really. You've got restaurants and things like that, and those are fine, and I've played those plenty. But there's not a lot of actual venues. So these days, really, with the internet, like, things like with technology, everybody can do it DIY, and so there's really, honestly, a saturation of musicians, and so it does make it kind of tough, because there's only so many places that survived COVID, and there's a lot of people wanting to play.
Yeah.
So it's kind of makes it a little hard, you just kind of have to, but you don't want to play in one area too much. I'm just trying to focus on branching out and trying to put together, some runs out of town here and there. And, it's coming back around. It's just, it might not be quite as easy as it used to be.
I always said, man, back in the day, and I'm from Eastern Kentucky too. I'm from Floyd County. I remember these house bands, all these bars had their house bands. And so it's very definitely hard back in the day to say, hey, to get them to let you play. You almost had to beg. Or unless you was a cover band, that's it, man. They'd let you come in if you was a cover band. But anything else, sorry. You had no somebody.
Yeah, exactly. And you could make, I know cover bands back then, 20, 25 years ago, they make really good money. I mean, you can still make decent money today. But
yeah, for
back
sure.
then, I know guys that make money playing, 3-4 nights a week, playing cover songs. But that's just kind of, it's not the way it is anymore.
No.
Which is good. Things need to change, it's just, I feel like I don't know. It's just, it's a strange business, man. It really is. And the cover charge, like, think about, like a lot of times cover charges still this day are like $5. It's been $5 for, however long I can remember, a lot of things like that haven't went up, changed much, but, that's all part of it.
Any tracks that did not make this upcoming album we can see on an upcoming album or another EP from you down the road, possibly? Do you have any in your back pocket that you're keeping, possibly?
Unless I change my mind, unless I decide to, for some reason, I decide to just do an EP. No, right now, like, everything I have finished at the moment is going to go on this. I have a lot of other ideas, but I've been focusing on this album. That's really usually what I do. I go through spells where I write a lot of riffs and put songs together musically. And then, I'll go back and revisit it and write lyrics to it and things like that. But I usually will do enough for an album. I'll do 8 or 9 or 10 songs, and then I'll really focus on completing it as a project. And then eventually, I'll start feeling that creative urge to start writing again. But that's usually the way I do it. I don't write a whole lot. I focus, kind of just on the project as a whole. And then once I'm finally done with it, then I'll move on.
Any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on the album? I know these are your babies. I know you listen to them all the time, but are there any that stand out for you, man, personally, possibly?
Maybe. There's one song right now. I feel like these are some of the best work I've ever done. And to date, I feel like it is the best work I've done as far as the recording process, as far as my writing and everything. And I've got one I've been playing out live here recently. It's called "Make You Mine," and it's just kind of it's a blues rock song. It's got a good groove, real good groove to it. And been getting a good response from it whenever I play it out live, and it's about, and the song itself is about just, make you mine means, it's about making love, really,
Yeah.
And, and it's just, I don't know, it just kind of makes me feel good to play it. I like where it's wound up going with the guys and the band and stuff. And there's another song that I wrote on there that I'm pretty proud of that's called "Broken," and it's like a heartbreak song, but it's pretty powerful, and I feel like it might be one that connects with folks pretty good. But there's several on there really that I'm really proud of, and they turned out well, and my guys in the band, they just, they killed it. So it's been a good group effort on this. Everybody has really stepped up, and I'm really proud of them.
Was there a track that you guys are working on that totally ended up sounding different than it was intended to when it was brought to the table? Was there one song that just changed a lot, or no?
No, not really. No, usually when I write stuff, I pretty much know. I mean, now if somebody has an idea and I like it, then I'm all for that. I don't care a bit to try stuff, but I typically already know how I want something to be before I get in the studio, and I've already got the outline and everything laid down. And I'm like, all right, here's how it goes, and then I'll get whoever I'm. I've kind of had a rotating cast of members over the years, but I'm always open to interpretation. That's why my songs are songs that you're supposed to jam on. Yeah. I like them to be, they're fun to play. They're fun for me to play, and I want them to be fun for everybody else to play. And so that's what, that's part of the thing is I like finding, really good guitar players that can really show off, and do their thing. Because, I love to play guitar, and I love writing guitar parts, but I like to, get some really good players in there that can really play to the song and add to it, but stick with basically what I'm hearing in my head. So no, there wasn't anything that really totally changed in the studio. No.
So working with the guys at Fat Cave Studios, did they get something out of you, man, that somebody else might not have gotten?
Yeah, maybe, man. It was they're very easy to work with. Sam Rogers is the main guy, and he's become a really, really one of my best friends over the past 2 years. But he's so easy to work with. He's such a nice guy, and he's got no ego about any of it. He's just happy to be there and to be recording and making art. And they go out of their way. Him and his partner in the studios, his name is Stephen Millars. And Stephen is, they've got a great place. They have 2 studios, actually. They have one in Jackson, and then they have one in Hazard. And the one in Hazard is actually Steve's house. He's got a nice, beautiful home that has a lot of room, and he just kind of turns it into the studio. And so it's really comfortable. You can go there, and it's nothing. You don't feel uptight, or everybody just be at home. And that means a lot, to just go in the studio and be relaxed and go in and do what needs to be done, and don't, have to worry about anything really. It's just go there and be yourself. And so, yeah, I think that's part of the reason why it turned out as well as it did. I'm proud of all the stuff that I've done, but I think that situation with the guys at Fat Cave really made it even better.
What would you like to add to your music that no one would ever think that you would add to a song, possibly, man? Is there anything that you want to add to it that no one would ever think that you would, possibly?
I know it. Probably, I really am looking to add piano. I love piano, and a lot of people like to add organ, or Hammond or something like that, or a B3 or something like that in there. But me, really, I just love to have some nice, just regular piano in there, man. Just like that old honky tonk kind of sound in there, kind of the Leonard Skinner, had Billy Powell in there playing.
Yeah.
I love that, and I'm probably, I plan on having some of that actually on this album. It's something I've never done, is had any keys on anything, and that's something that I plan on doing on this. So, down the road, I might actually, end up hiring a keys player or piano player or something. Just I haven't done it yet, but it's been on my mind.
What's the growth musically that you've seen in yourself on this album that surprises you the most, possibly, Sean? What is it, man? I know there's got to be something.
Say growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like in my songwriting, I've grown some. I feel, I needed to. We all, and I've definitely lyrically, I've grown some on this album, I feel. And I don't know. I feel very comfortable on this album. Feel very comfortable about where I'm at, musically, and who, what my sound is, and who I am as an artist and a musician.
Mm-hmm. What song for you is taboo to cover, man? Because I know people's got their songs that they will not touch, but for you, is there one for you possibly that you don't want to touch? You just leave it as is.
Yeah, the first one comes to mind, really, because I'm such a huge Zeppelin fan. It's like, you don't do Stairway, that's one of the greatest songs ever, so it's like, don't do Stairway to Heaven. I love that song, but no, I'm not going to try it. I do some Zeppelin songs here and there, but it's like that one is like, no, don't even try that one.
What do you hope everyone or someone takes away while listening to this new single, this new upcoming album, or just your music in general, Sean? What do you hope they get from it, man?
I hope it makes them feel good, man. I hope it makes them feel something, I mean, that's what we all, that's what we all want. That's what I want as a songwriter and artist, is I write music that I like, that I like to play and that I would like to listen to. I feel like that's important. At least it may not be the best thing commercially, financially to do, but at least I feel like you'll feel good in your heart about being true to yourself and things. And that's what I want, is to people to really know that my music is real, that I believe in it, and that, and I hope they get something from it. They feel what I feel. Some of my songs are sad, and I hope, but there's some hope in it. It's like in this song here, I hope people really can just listen to the lyrics and be like, it's okay. We're all getting by, and we're doing what we can to get by, and it is what it is. Life is, don't take it for granted, and just kind of do the best you can.
Just like you said, man, you hit the nail on the head right there. Don't take life for granted, because look what's going on over in Ukraine. I mean, the senseless acts of BS, man. Just stupid.
Right. Right. We're very fortunate.
Yeah.
To live in a place that we do.
I know you still have a lot of music, man, that you still go back and listen to. I know I do as myself, but do you still have a go-to album, Sean, or just a song that you find yourself gravitating back to and listening to from time to time that you have to listen to it, man? You can't put it down. You have to have at least once a week, twice a month, something like that. You find yourself going back to a certain album, possibly.
There's a few that I keep in heavy rotation. A few that sticks out in my mind are like, like old. I love old ZZ Top. I love 70s, 70s ZZ Top. Really anything from their first album, all the way. And I love the 80s ZZ Top too. Don't get me wrong, but their early stuff, all that, like I'm Bad, I'm Nationwide, and really their first album is probably one of my favorites. Their very first one. I listen to it fairly often. I listen to Humble Pie live at Fillmore. I love that album. I listen to it fairly often. There's a band that was out in the 90s called Cry of Love, that had Oddly Freed played guitar in that band. And their first album was one of the best albums ever, and I listen to that fairly often. There's I listen to Zeppelin a lot. I can just put on the catalog of Zeppelin and just let it play. I think they're the greatest band, in my opinion, the greatest rock and roll band ever. But there's I have a dozen or so bands and that are albums that I listen to a lot. I love Black Sabbath. I listen to. I go back every now and then and listen to all the stuff. I like Dio Sabbath too, but I listen to all the Ozzy Sabbath stuff. I just love music, man. I recently, I tell you what, the last couple of years I've been listening to I love Bon Scott era AC/DC. And there was an interview I was reading sometime last year, or maybe the year before. They were asking Angus what his favorite album was. And he was like, the album, is it, it's the album with Gone Shooting on it. And it's got What's Next to the Moon and Riff Raff and all those songs on it, man. And I think it's Power Age, I believe. Yeah. Flick of the Switch.
That's what I was going to say. Flick of the Switch. Power Age. Yeah.
And oh God, just the whole thing is incredible. The guitar work on it is just amazing. And I listen to that a lot too, man. I just, but then I'll go through dude, I can talk about this all night. I mean, there's, then I was so influenced too at the same time, during the 90s, I listened to a lot of, I listened to a lot of Stone Temple Pilots. I listened to a lot of Alice in Chains, a lot of Soundgarden, and Audio Slave too. Anything Chris Cornell did, I loved it. Pearl Jam. I go through sometimes I'll listen to those first 3 or 4 albums of Pearl Jam a lot. Just all that stuff, man. I look for new stuff, but not as much as I probably should. But I still like listen to. There's some new guys out too, though, that I follow that I like pretty well. I like Jared James Nichols. He's a new guy that's he's been touring some with Zakk Wylde. He's a killer guitar player and singer. And Zakk Wylde is another big influence of mine. I love his early stuff. I love all the stuff he did with Ozzy and Pride and Glory and some of the solo stuff.
Pride and Glory, man. That album is just like their first album came out was just God.
One of my favorites. It's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah. I mean, there's not there's nothing bad on that at all.
I'm a Black Label fan too, but not so much as I was that Pride and Glory stuff and Book of Shadows and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm always listening to music, always studying, trying to learn something from it.
Like I've said before, when Zach Wild can take a banjo and put it in a freaking metal song, hey, there you go.
I know. You're losing your mind.
Yeah.
I love that song.
That whole album is great from top to bottom. His guitar licks, man, and solos just mind blowing.
I know, man. I know it. It's big. That album was very, very influential on me, big time.
How can folks stay in touch with you? Buy this single, Time and Space, upcoming album, all your albums, EPs, all this good stuff, Sean. How can they do that, good sir?
Well, first off, I've got SeanWhiting.com. That's Sean, SeanWhiting.com. And I've got a store on there. I've got some merch and things like that. I've got links to everything on there. But I'm on all social. I'm on Facebook, Sean Whiting Music. I'm on Instagram, Sean Whiting Music. Twitter, Sean Whiting KY. TikTok, Sean Whiting. Man, I've got everything on. They can find the new single. It's just on all the streaming platforms, on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, iTunes, all that good stuff. Just try to YouTube. I've just got released a new video too. I've got a YouTube channel, and so the official video is out for it. Yeah, that's where you can check me out pretty much anywhere you need to be. I try to be there.
I just subscribed to your YouTube channel earlier today too, so I keep up with you. No problem whatsoever. Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Oh, absolutely, man. Hey, this is Sean Whiting, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link and our YouTube link. Please subscribe to our YouTube link, and we're all over just about every platform that's out there except for TikTok's what I call it. But everybody likes TikTok, but nay for me. But maybe I'll get on there one day. Who knows? But anyway, get out and support Sean Whiting. Pick up his new album when it comes out, his old stuff. Trust me, he's a local guy. All these local folks need your support, because without those guys, they would be no up-and-coming other musicians, folks. That's just how it is, plain and simple. So who knows who's going to be the next star that breaks out. So hopefully another local guy here. But anyway, Sean, you got total support from me, man, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it, man. Same to you, and I appreciate you having me on, man.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.